And keep me caged up? Like you? I ain't gonna let my soul go to rot in this thing. Last I checked, it was your gods who set us up to destroy each other. By tearing the souls out of little babies? That's some strong medicine. Think he got sick of it all after a couple thousand years? Or did Woodica keep him on the leash? We could never have this in the White March. All that blood'd freeze over. Wish I'd brought an oil can. Looks like all my parts are still moving. You ever get the urge to run around breaking stuff? I would have brought a torch if you'd asked. You think you could put me into that big Audra figure? Someone should go first. My vote's Durrance. Times like this, I'm glad I can't feel nothing. This place always so green? You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. Well? What are we waiting for? You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. Worth coming back for this alone. Green is to thank for the many fine aromas of Stalwart. Without him, would no one find their way back here? Well? What are we waiting for? You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. You got the look of someone with her teeth around a secret. I've seen a lot of things, but that's a first for me. Louder. I'm not sure she heard you. You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. Well? What are we waiting for? You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. Look out, it don't take a nose to smell the trouble on this one. You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. Well? What are we waiting for? You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. Well? What are we waiting for? Who says violence never solves anything? You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. You got the look of someone with his teeth around a secret. But it could be fun. I don't think she means that the nice way. It ain't just the villagers who got superstitions. Sounds like Stalwart, all right. I'd pick the lock, but I think she'll notice. Fine price for a blacksmith striker. Suppose I should be flattered. And of crushing your throat. One with a Plum Academy job back in Salona. Don't forget that part. See, he's reminding me. In case I get any bright ideas. Hey, I know how to start a campfire. Mighty fine of you to start with my good qualities, and you wonder why we don't get more visitors. My life's ambition. To serve somebody's useful purpose. Oh, now you got 'em all wound up. Here we go. Anything for a breather from your endless yammering. If it's new teeth you're wanting, I'll gladly help you make room for 'em. Must have slipped their minds what a busy and important fellow you are. Yeah, Galvino, why don't you go back to Stalwart? Oh, there's a sight I'd rust my joints to see. I'm going with him. I'm going with her. No one will bother me while I'm with him. Besides, I can help him find people in Stalwart. No one will bother me while I'm with her. Besides, I can help her find people in Stalwart. You better hope not. Then you'd have naught but those frostbitten inbreds for company. Come on, Galvino, they weren't your best work. Would you? It's him. Harmka. I remember that weak chin and those knobbly knees. Enough! What do you see? Is that the man who torched us? Spit it out! What did you see? What a waste. What are you dallying for? See what's written on the bastard's soul! Don't give me that greasy horse shit! You looked into the squalid dregs of his soul. Tell me what you saw. But I remember him. How can you be sure? Ah! Oh, says the chinless cur who burnt down a village. I want answers. If he don't stop his mewling, so help me, I'll rip them out of his head myself. What did it feel like, huh? The torch in your hand, the blade you carried, what did they feel like? Naming it is only going to make this harder. We can come back in half an hour to search their pockets. It ever occur to you that maybe those dukes sent you here to screw things up? First, your neighbors hound you because you say the wrong prayers at supper time. What did you say? Thought you Glonfathans was all fanatical and shit. Hate to piss on your daisies, but them dukes will sell you out when it suits them. Then some cross-eyed lord gets to stringing up your neighbors. That's what I like about you. You don't talk much, so it don't chafe you none that our mutual friend here's been prancing through your sacred ruins? Old man, I'd give you a taste of that fire you're pining for if we wasn't in such pleasant company. Way you're always clutching at that staff makes me think Mogren burned off the other one. That what happened? Hey, how's that song go again? The one you was singing a minute ago? I heard tell you fought in the Saints' War. Which side was that? Just as well. Got no love for either. So, your squad ever come through Coldmore? Then we're still good. I see them wheels turning. Give the word and I'll get behind him. Killing that pox-jowled priest, course. Ain't that what you was thinking? No, it was nice. In fact, you could sing it some more, if you want. Ain't heard a voice like yours in quite a spell, Kana. What got you into chanting? Mine taught me how to gut a rabbit and skin it in one piece. Guess that explains a few things. Was a few I used to know. Fireside ditties mostly, and a few ballads. You'd get a prettier sound out of a rusty hinge. Used to sing, back when I had the voice for it. After you learn this big secret, that's when you go back and kill the catchmolts, right? Bend over and I'll show you. Oh, playing the long game. So they don't expect you. You're smarter than you look, Zawa, says the man who's too far gone to feel any. You're full of shit, Zawa. They killed your men and raped your women, and that don't boil your blood? That why you hightailed it out of Examinal? Catchmalt. Catchmate. Now you're just saying it different to confuse me. One book ain't gonna fix your country, Kana. Steel solves quarrels faster than paper any day. You're making that face again. The one you make when you've been thinking too much. Ain't seen many, Amawa, but that don't look like your usual shade. Feeling queasy over Harmka? There's power in shared ass-kicking, too. Round up your brothers and sisters and show 'em how it's done. Now you're giving me second thoughts. No, but it needed doing. Thought about snuffing him anyway since we'd gone through all that trouble. The thing about snares is you can walk away and let him work. Nice. Easy. I know you said something this time. I'm guessing this ain't the first time that mouth of yours has earned you a pair of black eyes. Enough with the fancy words. You're just trying to make the rest of us feel bad. My ma said a clever fellow could explain himself in the simplest words. Oh, I'm laughing. Just real quiet like. Don't mind Galvino. He's always like this. I'll go with you to Stalwart. But Galvino will have a thing or two to say first. You're making the old man jealous. We could just kill him. Effigy's eyes, that man loved to talk. Yeah, you want to hear me say yes, don't you? Because one inbred backwater invaded another. Because anger has a way of catching. Does it matter? Well, we just got to do our best with what time the gods give us, don't we? Better than staying at Galvino's, anyway. Hunting down the men and women what took part. Thought that much was clear. Sure, no point to most of the things Kith spend their time doing. None at all. But that's not why we do things, is it? No. We do what we do because it appeases our sense of how the world ought to be. Or blazes just because it feels nice. Sometimes they was alone, and sometimes they wasn't. I'd have been more pleased myself if I hadn't gotten caught like this. And if I'd gotten through a few more first. Save it. I know what I am. Only thing that still eats at me is knowing so many of those other monsters are still at large. It were a mob that destroyed our village. But it was just one man that burned my family's house. Kept hoping I'd get to him as I was working my way through the rest of those maggots. No matter now, I suppose. Only kind of have with someone like him. Or me. You didn't leave much of Galvino to go back to. You're better company than Galvino. Been a while since I were out in the world. Guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. Even if I'm stuck with a bleeding heart. Anyways, I've been wondering about that fortress. Around about 13 years. Too long, you ask me. Every day. Just kept putting it off. It's not like either of us was going anywhere. Yeah, I've had enough of him too. He'd spread butter on bread and claim he made something. Never been accused of modesty, that man. He managed to stuff my soul into this heap of bronze, true enough. Maybe that makes him a genius. Also makes him a son of a bitch. No other way to feel about the man who flayed my living soul. I got a reputation. People in these little villages ain't the most open-minded. Not yet. Believe what you want. I killed a lot of folk, but none of them was in Stalwart. Near everyone thought it'd have just the thing they need. Galvino always thought it carried some great secret of animansin. And all them adventurers came looking for fancy gear. I don't know. Something to help me feel. Or forget. Effigy's eyes, maybe just something new. Happened after I got caught snooping around town. Someone got a look at me and my burns and figured out who I was. Always told myself I'd get around to doing that. You're still going to Stalwart, aren't you? Come on, don't make a lady beg. Good. No point in dallying here. What's the hitch? I don't smell and I won't go devouring your rations. Besides, you won't find another willing hand who knows these mountains better than me. No more than you regret your own acts of cruelty, I wager. Never saw the point in regret. Also never thought I'd hear fool-headed mawkishness from you. Only that I didn't get more of 'em. You'd have me go on about how I thought long and hard on my crimes, how I'd spend my own essence if it would quicken the men and women I killed. No more than you regret your own acts of violence, I'd wager. I respect you too much to lie. If it's sane and logical reasoning you're wanting, you're going to be disappointed. Ain't no sense in any of it. Won't make the deed seem any kinder. I got no gripe with you. I make no promises about old bluster breeches, though. Why? So you can weigh my reasons, decide whether they justified the killing? Justice had no place in any of this. There's no pretty words for what I done. Even you couldn't spin it so fine. You really want to hear it? This the kind of thing that winds you up? Or are you just figuring which of us is the most hated? You said yourself that someone needed to bring the hammer down on the scum that raised Cold Morn. You want me to tell you straight? I found the men and women what destroyed my village, and I burned their houses down around them. Stalwart's great this time of year. Beareth bells in bloom for a good 5 days, and the mountain squall actually blows the fish stench away from town. To a frozen middle-of-nowhere town filled with moody yokels? Guess it reminds me of home. I don't know. Why do you keep asking me? Come on, let's get moving. Just 'cause I'm made of metal don't mean I got any special fondness for smiths and forges. Plenty. But nothing you need to know. No more'n what Galvino already told you. Murder, tracking, and the best materials for kindling. Those are more my area of expertise. Long as we get to Harmka, we can search whoever you please. Let me know if you need someone in a chinlock. For fancy dwarven poetry? None of them ever struck me as especially literate. So whichever you can stand to get close to. And that's on you. I lost my sense of smell 13 years ago. Nothing specific. Everyone looks about the same when they got their fingers up their noses. Only the last group, one before you, there was something different about them. Couldn't put my finger on it, but they was dangerous. Almost felt the hair on the back of my neck. Ain't felt that way about anyone else. Till you walked through Galvino's door, that is. Ain't felt that way about anyone else walking through Galvino's door, that's for sure. Been a while since I were out in the world. Guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. And it ain't often I meet someone who understands my leanings so well. Been a while since I were out in the world. I guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. And it does me good to travel with someone steady and shrewd. Been a while since I were out in the world. Guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. And it's a welcome change to be with someone who don't jaw just to fill the silence. Been a while since I were out in the world. I guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. Besides, you're good for a chuckle now and then. It's been a while since I were out in the world. I guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. It's been a while since I were out in the world. I guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. I just don't have your way with kith. Those villagers thought it'd fix up their broke-down town. Until you gave them bigger worries. Those villagers wanted to fix up their broke-down town. I just figured, with those dwarves being expert smiths and all, maybe they had something to unmake me. Put me back into my body. I know, it were just a passing fancy. You really think so, huh? Well, ain't like you to blast hot air. Save your pretty words for someone who needs them. They were just a passing fancy, says the great fibber of Deerwood. Now I know I were fooling myself. They were just a passing fancy. You got a real knack for finding the upside. Near everyone thinks it'll have just the thing they need. Yeah, maybe. You're right. Let's go. There weren't much to say about it. By my reckoning, that means it was pretty good. Ma was a trapper, taught me to set snares and dress game. Dad was a tinker. I never had his patience, but it were fun to watch him work. My brothers and sister, they was good folk too. Part of me's glad they ain't here to see me now. Looked after his tools, cleaned the workshop, swung the sledgehammer. Oh, and snatched up travelers for his soul tinkering. Maybe so, but I got a feeling you didn't bring me along for my charming personality. All those other golems, where did you think they came from? But don't you worry. They were all bad folk. Just so you know, you got a real professional working for you. Mayhap you've heard of Cold Morn. Was a quiet, forgettable patch of the woods. Till a pack of rabid clodhoppers set it afire. A farmer on the other side of the mountains woke up one day with his head all aflame and took it for the gibbering speech of his god. Bunch of fool nonsense is what I'm talking about. But others have called it the same. If you know that much, then you've heard of Cold Morn. Ours was the village that let a few thousand of Widewind's troops pass through. Fine line between couldn't and wouldn't. Just look at Mercy Vale. They fought back, and now there ain't one stone standing atop another in the whole village. Besides, we asked the Duke for help. Told him Widewind's troops was coming through the mountains. Seems he had better uses for his soldiers. We got news of the raid Sarans coming through the mountains. Begged the Duke for help, we did. Didn't send us so much as a bare-ass novitiate. They went to towns with full coffers and lofty connections. So we let Widewind soldiers pass. Left him for the Duke to wrangle on his own terms. Was after the Godhammer made a fine grit out of Widewind, when Deerwoodens were running on rage and looking for something to burn. You're the only person in the Deerwood who thinks so. Me, I'm surprised the Duke didn't make our massacre a festival day. Told you it wouldn't be pretty. Maybe not. But the Raid Sarens had us clean beat in numbers. Even bumpkins like us figured that. St. Widwin and his blazing crusade celebrated his coup in Raid Saris by invading the Deerwood. Most of his forces headed north to Halgot Citadel, but a lucky few thousand ventured through the mountains. Through Cold Morn. We let him pass. And so did a few thousand of his countrymen. So when he tired of Vorlis fields and marched west, a horde of armed hicks followed. Funny, if I'm recalling true, you left your faith in the dust when it ceased serving you. You'd know better than any, wouldn't you? Peddling your religion for profit. Careful. Wouldn't want your God to hear you spouting heresy. Then it's a good thing yours isn't around to punish you for saying so. Bold words for someone whose God is ashes under a bridge. Do you think so? Or are you afraid your God is listening? Only thing that makes that better is knowing Galvino weren't here to enjoy it. I know it's petty, but killing Raid Saren still feels nice. That was worth it just for the look on Halfrick's face. Then it were a few thousand fools that followed Widewind into the Deerwood. Dangerous fools, spoiling for battle. Oh, especially when it promises new lands to conquer. But plenty were willing to follow Widewind on his blazing crusade. Celebrated his coup in Raid Saris by invading the Deerwood. The same countrymen willing to let us stand alone against an army? They had us clean beaten numbers. Even bumpkins like us figured that. Try telling a few hundred crazed Deerwoodens. They dealt with the Raid Sarens. Then they came for us. They came at dark. Hundreds of folk. Every one of them mourning someone lost in the war. They came at dark. Hundreds of folk. Every one of them mourning someone lost in the war. Must have decided it was our duty to escort their dead back to the wheel. They didn't light their torches till they had us surrounded. Time we saw 'em, there was a ring of fire closing around us. I woke. Ran to the window. Whole village were a maze of flames. Couldn't see nothing for the smoke. And the screams. Most ran for the streets. Got caught by the mob. Others hid, let their houses burn down around them. Ran, fought, hid, burned. Same as my neighbors and family. Just luckier. That was my thinking, too. Same goes for the cowards who burned a sleeping village. And the thanes who did nothing. What do you find when you're rooting around like that? Yeah? And I'll bet you could do the same to anyone in this village. Easy as looking at him. Mayhap I'm looking for someone. Woodcutter by the name of Harmka. It sure does. So I can kill him. Wrap my fingers around his throat till he's as cold as his wretched village. I tracked him to Stalwart years ago, but got caught before I could finish my business. Oh, don't go all soft on me. He's had it coming. We all gotta have something that gets us out of bed in the morning. This man, Harmka. I saw him outside my house the night it burned, staring into the flames the way I seen you stare into souls. If I knew I got the one responsible for my kin and my hearth, I might could rest easy. Don't know where he dallies these days, but someone in Stalwart could tell us. People from little villages, they always know. I took a good long look that night. Ours was a little place with a yellow door right on the edge of town. He was there. Besides, I asked around when I first got to Stalwart. Townsfolk said that all the woodcutters in town took part in the purge. I told you he was part of the mob. I spotted him watching my house when it burned. But when we find him, I want to know if he's the one responsible for my home. My parents and my brothers and sister. I never thought I'd have the chance to know for sure. But you could look into his soul and find out. You being a watcher and all. And I can't make no promise to stay my hand if we come across him. He was one of 'em. The mob that destroyed Cold Morn. I knew it were a fool's errand trying to hunt down every man and woman that carried a torch into Cold Morn. But point of pride for them. Mighty fine of you. Mighty fine indeed. Here. Let me show you how it's done. That was a fine bout of murdering. Shame you've already got the gods yammering their fancies in your ear. I ain't gonna add to the racket except to warn you. Don't go hitching your fate to theirs. You saw how that turned out for old Theos. You somehow sniff out the best in folk. But don't let the gods dupe you. They'll use you up just like they did Theos. You're slick enough to see you're nothing but a tool to them. But as long as you're making your own choices, you got power over them. Don't forget it. Village was a touch livelier when I saw it last. Ain't saying much, though. Bitter cold and a persistent odor of fish. And that were just the people. Anything's better than Galvino's workshop. You ain't heard the old buzzard sing. Anyway, what about you? We seen lots coming through, trying to crack the battery, but no watchers. You sure got a funny way of helping. The do-gooder of the Deerwood. You're a rare breed these days. Stalwart needs a lot of things. A walloping avalanche for starters. Treasures with sharp edges and spiky bits, right? Those come in handy. Ah, looking for someone. That's a familiar yarn. But don't let me keep you from the sights and sounds of Stalwart. They're easy to miss. Fine. Ain't no business of mine. Long as they don't come back with rocks in hand, that's fine by me. The rest of the Deerwood should thank you. You've done wonders for the average national smarts. Rough times is the only kind they got up here. Didn't think there was anything more than lice and hoarfrost to these folk, but you had a look back there. Been wondering about what you told Galvino, about seeing souls. All that watcher business true? Almost 15 years I've been looking for him. All that fretting and wondering. And the deed's over in less time than it takes to tell. Now I'd rather we never crossed tracks. Didn't think I'd miss this place. Had that much right. I still dream I'm folk. I wake up some mornings wondering why I can't feel the floor beneath me, thinking I must have fallen and gone crippled. But then I lift my head, see a bronze corpse stretching out in front of me. I dream, too, of what Galvino did that night. Those moments. I'd endure another cold morn if it'd spare me this fate. When a crowd of 'em came for me in the dark of night, I was only surprised it had taken 'em so long. Only they didn't march me to no gallows. No, they snuck me to another house on the edge of town, real sneaky-like. That's where I met Galvino. He was fiddling with some machinery in his workshop. Had his sleeves rolled up, even though it was cold enough to see your breath. By that time, the mayor's goons had me trussed up good and tight. Galvino was having himself a grand time barking orders at that lot. So while Galvino's fastening that helmet over my head and them copper bands around my arms, I'm starting to look at his contraption. And that's when I see it. It's this metal suit strapped into the machine just like me. A cold, dead-eyed thing, all done up with fancy carvings and such. I start asking Galvino and the rest of them what's going on, but they're too busy to answer. Galvino tells the woman nearest the machine to flip the handle. And then, just pain. Being torn apart every which way, feeling my soul peeled from my body. Think that was when I knew. Then I shiver to think on the judgment you'd pass on me. Peace. Now there's a funny word for it. I'd trade 'em all if I could feel the snow cold around my ankles. It ain't going anywhere. It's not pity I want, it's a choice. And what would you know of having your essence ripped from you mote by mote? Weren't nobody fonder of reminding me. True enough. This was before the locals gave him the boot. Still weren't a popular fellow, though. He'd agreed to hand me over to Galvino for an experiment. Didn't help that they heard the jangle of copper in that deal. In the end, that's what sent Galvino and the old mare packing. I reckon I'm the wrong person for that sort of question. But if it cools your conscience, Galvino didn't get off easy. The rest of Stalwart didn't take kindly to having a killer in their midst, nor to seeing their mare and the ornery Valians strike a secret deal. The old mare fled too, and Stalwart's been as snug and cheery as ever. Sure enough, and how Galvino ended up in that little shack. You think I didn't? The one. I had this terrible cold feeling in my gut, but I still couldn't figure. Don't much feel like it. Then here's hoping you have better luck than all the poor sods that came before you. True enough, but I was hoping to savor the moment a mite longer. I killed a lot of folk in my time. Felt their blood slick in my hands, smelled their flesh as it burned. And I always used to imagine what it would be like to have Harmka under my knife, feeling his breath come hot and fast, smelling the fear ooze out of him. Couldn't feel a thing. His fading pulse weren't no more than a patter of rain to me. This body, it weren't made for feeling. Gouging my fingers into Harmka's wasting flesh, his screams just buzzing in my skull. I know, but I wanted to feel it, you understand? All it did was remind me that this is a madman's fever dream. Like a prison, but no, 'cause in a prison, you lay your head down and you feel the straw soft beneath you. Your flesh prickling in the cold, black bread crumbling on your tongue. Now that's just a puffed-up way of saying rottener than a shit-filled wagon. Pretending's for those quiet moments, when you're drifting off to sleep. There's times you need to sink your fingers into something real. Was after I got caught in Stalwart. They'd locked me in a little house by the inn, the old mayor and his cronies. Never actually looked at me until he started fitting some copper helmet over my head. Claimed it was a fair punishment, but the town folk weren't too pleased at being denied their stone pitching. Then suddenly, they're waiting, staring at me with that fixed, horrified look. but they ain't watching me. They're watching for something to happen. By the time I came to, I couldn't feel a thing. Just this dull, distant sort of ache. They drove Galvino out, destroyed a fortune in machinery, and wrote a letter to the Academy in Salona, ruining what was left of his name. Still, he's lucky he didn't get a pelting. I only know it weren't him that torched my house. Don't know that I'd call that certainty. Used to be I had something to hunger for. Stung at me night and day, but at least it were something. Now there's nothing. Not even that burn of wanting something. Just that look on his face. Good? I don't feel good. Just horror? Fear? No. More than that. After Cold Morn, folk used to leer at my burns, full of disgust. Or they'd realize who I was, and then it was the terror. Maybe hate. But this... the way Harmka looked at me. The way I've seen near everyone but you and Galvino look at me. Appreciate the sentiment, but it wouldn't be the same. That's the one. I heard the old man cackling and chattering. When I saw him looming over me, looking down at me with hungry eyes, I tried to scream, tried to swing at him, and I'll never know if he'd done it. I wanted to feel something. Thought maybe if I knew he'd done it, I could wrap my hands around his throat, feel the pulse dying in his neck, his skin going cold. But seeing him numb and dead in the snow, all it did was remind me. Right here. Okay. Yep. Sure. Ha! For Cold Morn! You're mine! I'm gonna rust over here. If I wanted to watch snow melt, I'd have stayed with Galvino. If this is a staring contest, I'm gonna win. I'm leaking. Almost felt that one. That's leaving a dent. Need to stop and oil my joints. Let's stop. I got a pebble in my foot. I'm spent. Ah, shit. Gotta fight harder now. We'll pay that back. Goodbye. Both of you. I think. We lost Itumak and his master. Kana, get up, boy. Adair! Don't do this, Palagina. Not now, little guy. Away to Mogren's flames, priest. One down. We're losing them. Pick up the slack. They're taking us down. Wizards down. That didn't take long. They're both playing dead. This is no time for a nap, farm boy. Palagina's down. I'm gonna take a feather. Something big just fell. Little guy fell hard. Everyone else has all the fun. Gotta try something else. Hold still. Let me try again. Where am I supposed to put that? Good thing I'm freshly greased. Let's see what we got. I'll keep an eye out. Come here, and we'll see how you like that. You know I can't feel that. It's like I'm back in Stalwart. You gotta see this. Oh, look at here. That's rusting somewhere. Shit. If you say so, that'll do. I wasn't made to bend this way. Shit, can't move. No, no, no. You're worse than Galvino. Rub it in, why don't you? I could still kill you in your sleep. Wondered why Galvino gave me fingernails. Let's talk. You and me. I'm not great with first impressions. Uluthen. Moeth Ixiana. Lavaru Biansik. Brith Ulikna. Athek Worthen Roth. At them! Attack! Death to our enemies! Kraft Afila Fearlin. Quethe Silmes Mitum. Werde Bildan Saul. Caroc 10. Sacre Thu. Ixmaru. Bilwan Sawatelatek. Worthirota. Brita Unlikana. Wertron Alvirosta. Mirtekroni Lita. Araktum. This ain't time for your nonsense, Zawa! Zawa! That ain't gonna work. Won't do no murdering like this. Just like Mama taught me. Damn, I've gotten rusty. Gotcha! That didn't count. Ain't that special? Ah! It's eating through my plate! Damn it! Forgot the words. Got it done. What you need? I heard ya. I'm going. All right, but I ain't responsible for what happens up here. I'll give it a poke. Maneha went down hard! We've lost Maneha. It's a fine touch. Really opens up the hall. Folk round here say the batteries swallowed more adventurers than the ogres. Thought you'd want to know. Dare you to stick your head in there. Just a few more steps, Durrance. Times like this, I don't miss my sense of smell. Say what you want about ogres, they know how to make an impression. You go first. This body ain't the best for swimming. Maybe we could nudge them into torching their own village. Oh, that's good. I ought to try that one next time I get nabbed. How much longer is this gonna be? My joints are rusting. Or just for fun, maybe. I guess dropping a rock on their heads is one way to fix that. A fun way to kill time? But I would lose my favorite conversation starter. Hey, I'm standing right here. Ain't that convenient? And I used to say I never got picked for anything. I just hope you're not doing this for all those louts in Stalwart. Even the new ones ain't worth it. No offense, but if she's hiring, I'm going with her. This ain't fair. Is it my violent urges or my heart of brass? I gotta hold on to what I can. Memory's the one thing Galvino didn't take from me. Hey, this kind of crazy takes work. Watch out! Did that thing come from the bottle or the pool? Ain't that something? The things you never see in your own backyard. Watch where you swing that thing. Heard you could drop a pan from up here and it would kill a man. Saw Galvino working on something like this once. Looked dangerous. You gotta be kidding me. That really makes me want to burn this place down. More than usual, I mean. If only Galvino could see those. He'd die of envy. Or crushing. Don't know what's wrong with the rest of you. Place seems fine to me. Lot of water in here. Let's make this quick. Even for Stalwart, that's crazy. If I didn't know better, I'd say I'm hallucinating. I didn't think you had it in you. Oh, to be a fly on the wall when they reach Stalwart. That's more like it. I'm starting to think you didn't pay Galvino near enough for me.